Alright, the secret to success is probably 49% strategy and tactics. Like, this is my approach, this is how I'm going to do it, this is what that looks like. The other 99% of your success, shut up, those numbers totally add up. The other 99% of your success is you. It's your willingness to do the action, and it's the capacity you have within yourself to do difficult things. By that I mean try something when you don't know if it's going to work. By that I mean putting yourself out there and risking failure. By that I mean feeling imposter syndrome and acting anyway. In today's video, I want to break this down and talk to you about 5 things you can do to help you do the work that is actually going to lead to the result you want in your life. Sound good? Let's go. Alright, here's the first one. When it comes to your vision, it's not so much the details that I care about and the strategy that I care about. I really care about what's stopping you, and this is a brilliant self-coaching question. But when I ask people the question, they tell me what's stopping them, and then it's like full stop. They leave the conversation there. Obviously, as a coach, I'll then push it forward. But what I want to say to you today, listening or watching, is that you get to continue the conversation with yourself in your journal, just thinking out loud as you're driving, whatever. So let's do this. I want you to think about the vision that you have of your life. And I know that when I say that, immediately stuff is going to come up. You're going to think about some goals that you've got, maybe some revenue goals. You're going to think about the house you want to buy, the travel, all of that good stuff. Now, I challenge people on their vision because there's 2 types of vision you can have. One is a rich vision, right? And one is a wealthy vision. A rich vision is a little bit of a tricky one because your vision is so tied up with other people's opinion of you. Like, you want the car to show you're successful. You want the house for that one day when people come over, and then the rest of the year you've got to like keep it tidy and keep it clean and pay the electricity on it when you didn't really want that house in the first place. You wanted less to clean, right? The rich vision is all about your ego mind and outside opinions and looking good and looking successful. That's your rich vision. Your wealthy vision is all about freedom. Deep down, if I push it with people, what they're really seeking is freedom. Freedom of time, like doing what they want when they want without feeling the pressure to turn up and make money. And then the freedom of expression, like being able to create stuff they love and building things that they want to build and sharing the truth of who they are. That's what people really want. So I want to challenge you with your vision to really ask yourself, like, do I actually care about the goals that I've got written down? Am I intrinsically motivated and driven from within to do them because the act of pursuing them is motivating enough rather than feeling the need to tick a box to show off to people? So when you've got your vision, next thing to do is to think, okay, this is what I want. And I'll tell you right now, I've set stupid goals in the past. And I tell you what, right? I used to want to do $1 million in a year. I don't want to do that right now. I just don't. I don't want the team. I don't want the headache. I don't want the strategy. I don't want the tax bill. Just call me crazy. Like 6 figures is plenty for me. It allows me to hit all my goals. It allows me to do everything that I want to do. One thing I really want to do is renovate this house that we're in. And in particular, I know my other half will hate this because on our list is the kitchen, then the bathroom. Do you know, if I had my way, and this is so stupid, if I had my way, I would start with the garden. There is something about a garden that really matters to me, and I think it's the dream of waking up and putting the fancy coffee machine on and making a decaf cappuccino with oat milk, some chocolate sprinkles, and taking that coffee into the garden with my book and my journal and starting the day a certain way. I think that really matters to me. That is my wealthy dream, wealthy goal. So I had to be really honest and say, I don't want a rich life. I don't want to show off or hit a goal for the sake of it or to push myself. I don't want that. I want freedom to go sit in that garden with my little coffee machine and watch the birds on the table. And I want the freedom to make stuff. I want to make journals. I want to build courses. I want to work with people closely. I want to do like networking and community stuff. That's the magic for me. The next question becomes, what is the plan? And just do this very simply. So like, what are the 5 steps that would get you there? And everybody can write these down. What are the 5 things in order you have to do to see the vision through? And once you know what the plan is, you've got to come back and ask, what's the action today? Because who cares what your vision is or what your plan is if you then spend every single day in avoidance of the one key thing that'll move you forward? So if key to your success is posting videos on social media, and you know that is the action, and you've bought all the gear and you want to film or whatever, and that's the one thing you're not doing, you get to say, why not? All right, I'm afraid of judgment. Tell me more. Whose judgment are you afraid of? People I went to school with, who in particular? Okay, this person I used to fancy when I was 16 years old. Okay, are they going to see it? No. Are you connected? No. When you ask people, they have the craziest reasons why they're not doing the work. Somebody once said to me, I don't want to post it because all the people I used to be connected with on LinkedIn will have an opinion. And I said, defriend them, like disconnect. Like, what's the problem? They honestly don't care. They don't care. If they're looking at you, it's only to compare themselves. Like, that is the truth of human nature. Your clients are looking for you. The people you can help are looking for you. If you're hesitant about posting, sharing, doing the action, something like that, you're not thinking about the people you can help. You're thinking about the people who are further ahead than you, who will judge you. And trust me when I say, people who've done the work judge less. They know what it takes and they will commend you. So you've got to ask, what is stopping me? And then critically, what am I going to do about it? That's the work. Posting the video isn't the work. Coming up with a vision isn't the work. The work is, I know I want to post videos. This is key to my success and I won't do it because I've got imposter syndrome. How do you overcome that? And I'm not asking it as a rhetorical question. I'm saying genuinely, what are you going to do? What course can you join? What books can you read? What conversation can you have? What can you Google? Because that is the work. That is the work. Number 2, the second thing you can do, and this sounds crazy coming from a coach and someone who's like all about motivation, inspiration, and going after your dreams, you can make the goal smaller, you know, like seriously. So let's say I was talking to somebody and they wanted to build a new product. All my examples of business, obviously it's what I do. So just, you're gonna have to extrapolate if you're just not into business. So let's say you had a product and you knew it was worth 1,500, but you just couldn't turn up at that price. And you were like, Lisa, I'm gonna charge it at $1,000. I know it's worth more, but I just don't feel ready to charge. My honest answer is gonna be like, brilliant, absolutely fine. Now go out at $1,000. Yeah, but Lisa, I could probably charge more if only my money beliefs were this, blah, 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 blah. And I think, yeah, but it's crazy because you're going to lose 3 months of your life and 2 launches, all because you wanted to get yourself ready for a higher price point. There is power in taking action now and doing whatever feels comfortable for you today. So other examples would be, Lisa, I really want to write this book and I've set myself a goal of writing for an hour every single day. Really? Like, is that practical? Are you going to do it? Why do that? What if you said, Lisa, I'm going to write this book and I'm committing to doing 45 minutes, 3 days out of a week? Is it more likely that you will honour the 45 minutes 3 times a week, or is it more likely that you'll honour the hour every single day of your life? Like, to me, it's just crazy. People set these crazy plans and approaches and targets that they can never meet because subconsciously over-egging your plan and setting crazy targets is self-sabotage. You come up with something so ridiculous, so impossible, so beyond where you are in terms of your capacity, you never do it. And the worst part is you spend all of your time beating yourself up because you didn't do your 1 hour a day, when that was just, for most people, ridiculously impossible to do because life, okay? So I want to ask you honestly, like, if you were to make a move on the thing that you're passionate about right now, what would be a simple thing you could commit to? It doesn't have to be every day. It could be 3 times a week. It could be 1 hour at the start of the week. But the point is, pick something that feels approachable, that is really easy to do, and then just practice being the person who can do that one thing. That's not a plug for the membership, but seeing as we're here. The other thing about this is, did you know that action builds trust in yourself? One of the biggest reasons people fail when it comes to setting new goals, and I'm going to be bold on this, most of the people I work with, they're not 20. They're 40, they're 50, they're always coming up to a big birthday, like, I'm going to be 40 this year, Lisa, I'm going to be 50 this year, I'm coming up to 60. They're always a little bit more mature in life, and I say that with the greatest respect because they've lived a life. They've experienced pain, they know what they want now, but because they've set goals in the past that have been ridiculous, like just impossible for the average person to do, and then not being able to do them, so missed their targets, what they've done is decrease the trust they have in themselves. So they'll write a goal with like excitement and anticipation, I'm gonna do it, but subconsciously the feedback loop for them is, yeah, but you never follow through. So with this one, what I'm really trying to say is done is better than a ridiculous goal you're never going to attempt, then beat yourself up over, then decrease your trust in yourself, that affects you for a decade. Honestly, guys, I've got this program I've been building for a while called Straight Line Through. It's a business and life success program. Honestly, this might sound really weird for you to hear this. I didn't want to send the first email. I didn't want to do the first post because my fear is, what if I do it and nobody wants it? And I know that's crazy because I've crafted an amazing offer and I've thought about for months and built on years of experience of what people want and need and put this offer together. And yet still, I didn't want to send the email. So what I had to do was go and create the graphics and draft the email and redraft the email. And it took me about a week to get it ready. And then I remember waking up on the day that I sent it and I said to myself, I don't want to post you're posting the email. I don't want to you're posting the email. And I thought the worst thing that can happen is somebody unsubscribes. Like, no one's going to message me and say, Lisa, I hate your offers, I hate what you do, because they wouldn't have found themselves on my list in the first place. Worst case scenario, they're like, no thanks, love you, love your stuff, outgrown you, don't need it, no tar. Best case scenario, Lisa, this looks spot on, can we have a call? So everybody feels it at all levels, but the important thing is that once you've made a decision, you've got to think, what's the easiest, smallest action I can take here? This is so against the advice of other people, but what's the smallest, easiest action I can take here that puts me in the game? Sending that email put me in the game, and I got some great replies, and it set me up to do more, and I already had the next stuff ready, okay? So what I'm saying here is, don't make it so big, make it smaller, and in relation to straight line through, I just limited it to 5 people for the one-to-one and 5 people for the lecture series. So I only have 10 places. That's as opposed to trying to sell 50 or do a massive launch. I don't need to, and I don't want to. I've done what feels good and feels plausible for me, and guess what? I followed through. One little thing I want to add, just checking my notes, one little thing I want to add before we move on is, I believe this so much. When you set an intention and you acknowledge what the gap is and what you have to fix or work on, fix is wrong, I'm sorry, what you have to heal, when you acknowledge what you have to heal, somebody will mention a book to you and you'll go, that seems good, and you'll buy the book and you'll read it and one idea will help you. Or you'll be listening on a podcast and someone will say something. Like, when you decide what you're trying to do and I also say, like, surrender. The truth is, you surrender and you say, I'm willing to go on this journey. I'm willing to be the person who makes this happen. And if you can be bold and say, I'm open to a little cheeky bit of guidance here, it won't be long before a book turns up, a person turns up, a conversation happens. You will be guided. Don't think you have to do it all alone. Follow your gut, trust your heart. I mean, how on earth did you stumble on this video? Why are you listening to this today? Because it's going to help you. There's something in here that you're meant to hear. Maybe you've already heard it and maybe it's this. So when you take action and when you identify what's going on and what you probably need to heal as that self-coach, watch, because something will turn up to help you. I really believe that. Third one, this is brilliant, right? Remember I said 49% is the strategy, the action, all that good stuff, and the other 99% is you. I'm not joking, those numbers, that's legit science, that is. The other 99% is you. When I'm coaching people and they say to me, Lisa, I need to make videos, or I need to put this offer together, or I need to have a difficult conversation, I don't say to them, right, open your diary, what day are you going to do it on? Because that's a stupid, threatening question. Sorry if anyone's ever heard me say that, but listen, because I bet it was preceded with this. I will say to people, what makes you feel good? When do you feel powerful and in control of your life? And I've had amazing answers to this. I've heard rock climbing, like, that is amazing, and for me that's no thank you, sounds wonderful, no thank you. Then I've heard swimming in cold water, wonderful. Also for me, no thank you. I've had so many great answers. Things for me would be the gym, lifting heavy stuff, a run. If I have to go on a run, they're the big guns. Like, oof, I needed some big magic there. Journaling, that helps release stuff, but like feeling in my power, feeling strong, feeling capable, it is definite. I tell you one, it's definitely the gym, lifting stuff, running, walking, listening to podcasts, that kind of thing. And then another one that I've only really realised this year is turning up and training. So being in community and having a topic and teaching it, that makes me feel powerful and capable and competent because I'm using my skills and adding value. So if a client says to me, I need to make some videos and I'm avoiding it and we've done all the other stuff, honestly their homework will be, you are going to go rock climbing in the morning and then in the afternoon, that's when you're going to make your video. It becomes like 1,100% times million times 3 times easier because you're in your power. Do not, if you've got to wake up and make videos, do not wake up, lie in bed, feel like rubbish, tell yourself you're an idiot, worry about how it's going to go, spend ages planning, and then sit down in that energy and be like, hey guys, in today's video, Not gonna work. Get up, go to the gym, or go rock climbing, or go for a swim in the sea. You've got to block out your day. That's your morning activity. Then you come back, ideally you'd have everything set up the night before, so you just slot in that high, in that energy, and watch what happens. It is a genuine hack of success. Reflect on what makes you feel powerful and capable and ready and excited and in your element. Go do that activity. That is honestly the medicine. And then come back and make sure you leave enough time to then do the difficult task. It's magic. Fourth one. This is such a good one because people always stop just short of the mark. You've probably heard me say that I've lost all my money twice, as in I got into significant debt twice. The first time was 100k, that was a shock. And then the second time, I don't know if it was more of a shock or less of a shock, but the second time was around 65k. And when I added it up, I was like, how have I done this again? And I remember always asking at the time, like, why has this had to happen? Like, what have I done to deserve this? And I always knew that the answer was, this is the only way we can teach you, Lisa, because you're not getting it. We told you once, and then you went and repeated all those behaviours, and you were shocked when you got the same outcome as before. You need to feel this pain. Sounds crazy, but you need to draw a conclusion between the actions you're taking and the result that you're getting. And the answer was never like win the lottery or have someone pay it off for me. I had to pay it off. I had to do that because in the pain of it, that's when I made new decisions about what was acceptable, what I would do and who I would become. Two things that helped me in that journey both times, I mean, just heaven forbid I do it again, please. I've really been paying attention, guys. The two things that really helped me, one, always setting a new vision, always saying tomorrow will be better, in a year's time I can have this sorted, in 5 years time I'll look back and I'll be able to teach this and share it with people. So always knowing I can always strive for more, I can always ask for better, and I can always try again. So longer timelines. I didn't need to pay it off that week, that month, or even that year. Realistic timelines I could honour gave me power and confidence. The second thing that really helped me, and this is so hard, but it wasn't quitting in the hardest of moments. In the hardest of moments is when you have to build the reserve and the resolve within you to keep going, because that's when the lesson is really landing. Do you understand? That's when it's really landing. So when people say don't ask for it to be easier, ask to be better, it's so brutal, but it's true. If you're getting a consistent result in your life that you don't want, you're probably repeating a behaviour over and over that you might be aware of, you might not be aware of. The whole feedback loop is to help you become conscious of it, and then you got to go, why am I doing this? How is this serving me? And I remember thinking about the debt. This must be better subconsciously than having money. Like subconsciously, I must feel better being in debt and not having money and not having abundance. So why would that feel better to me? Why does that feel like safety? What is the message there? What is the lesson? What is the insight? And I just went round in so many loops. I read so many books. I studied so many things. I was looking for the key. Like, why did I do it? And bottom line, I think this is the same for everyone. It just came back to feeling unworthy. If it came back to feeling unworthy, I'm unworthy of money. I'm unworthy of abundance. So then I had to say, okay, where did those feelings come from? What does that give me? Like, why would I repeat those patterns? How does staying here feel safer than actually doing the work of feeling worthy? Because when you feel worthy, you don't tolerate stuff that you once tolerated. It means you risk social connection. It means you risk long-standing friendships. It means you risk relationships. That's what happens. When you feel worthy, you start putting yourself first because you deserve it. Well, that to my subconscious was dangerous as hell. Hello, military kid who moved every 2 years and had to fit in every 2 years at all costs. I prioritised learning how to fit in with people and just blend in and be accepted very, very quickly. I prioritised that over my own safety, over my own sense of well-being and worthiness. Do you see that? Because it was all about fitting in quickly. Hey, I'll be there 2 years and I'll be gone. And then again, fit in quickly, there 2 years and gone. Do you know how much healing work that took? What I really want to get across here is the importance of going again in the hardest of moments, and don't quit once you've failed, because I know people say this, it sounds like a cliche, but you are not a failure. You're not a failure. You didn't freaking know. You didn't know. I think when we were growing up, there are so few things we were taught that we needed today because we've evolved and the world's evolved. Our parents, our caregivers, whoever was around us, they did the very best to give us what they thought we needed and what they might have needed as children, but they couldn't have anticipated this moment 40, 50, 60, 70 years later, who you'd be, what you'd need, how the world had evolved. It's on us now, it's on us. And so when you see the failure and you find the pattern, it sounds mad, but that is the gift. That is the gift, because then you go, oh, this sucks. I hate being a human. That's fine, do that for a day, you're okay. And then you go, what am I gonna do about it? What am I gonna do about it? What help do I need? What books can I read? Where can I go? I have pulled myself through some scrapes. And don't say, oh, it's all right for you, Lisa, you've always had money. Because that was my whole problem. I really hope I've got my point across there. And if you're in a tough time now, my advice to you would be get yourself back to a place of safety. Fill up your cup, go do the thing that makes you feel good, look after yourself, and then read and get into other people's energy who've come through difficult things. Consume and let them guide you, and just one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. You have paid for your education. Now it's time to use it. Last one in this video, truth about success. This is a bit of a difficult one to end on, but the last thing I want to share with you is just be careful you don't fail so catastrophically that it takes you out of the game. And this is one of these I wish I'd known sooner. I think with the debt and the extent that I went to and how much I made it impossible for me to get back up and try again, because even when I was earning loads of money, I can't tell you, 80-90% of it went on debt payments. It was so demoralizing, it was so painful. I think I failed so hard, I took myself out of the game, and it took me years both times to just get back on an even kilter. It's so hard to get out of debt when you're in debt, and if anyone's in debt watching, I'm telling you, I freaking know, but it is possible. It requires dramatic behaviour change. So here's a thought. We get into debt because we want the joy of tomorrow today, and we want to offset the cost of it until tomorrow. That's how you get into debt. That thing, instead of working towards it and saving for it, you go, I know, I'll use someone else's money to pay for it, and instead of me having to pay for it and deal with that now, I'm going to have the joy and the experience, and then I'm going to put the price of the payment down the line. When it comes to paying it back, you can't even freaking remember what you're paying back because the experience was gone. It's gone. So this ties back to that very first thing, clever little loop here, where when I say to you, set your vision and set your plan and think about what it's going to take and make it realistic. Don't stretch yourself so far that you leaping over from one side of the cliff to the other risks the end of it all. Just think, okay, I'm going to slow this down. I'm going to reduce my goal. It sounds mad. Instead of saying, oh, it's going to be a 6-figure year, this is going to be a 50k year. That's my goal. I'm going to figure out how to get there first. Or instead of saying, I'm going to lose 3 dress sizes in 3 minutes, just give yourself 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, extend your timelines and make the goal achievable. Because when you do that, you don't have to expend all of your resources and then take crazy bets. Like, I think I always used to think that I would make it big one day and I'd have this massive windfall one day and it would solve everything. And honestly, that has not been my experience over 13, 14 years. What I've realised now, and it's that difference between being rich and being wealthy, is that money comes and money goes. It always comes and it always goes. There's always a flow. And I think there's a difference. These words here, rich versus wealthy. I think being rich means having the money and showing the money, having the money and spending the money. Whereas being wealthy means earning the money and taking a bit and putting it aside, earning the money, taking a bit and investing it, so saving it or putting it in some kind of investment for the longer term. It's the ability to live comfortably within your means today and put a bit aside so that you have that freedom in the future, the time freedom and the creativity freedom. The key to this, and it comes back to what I was saying in the very beginning, make sure the vision is something you actually want. Make sure the plan is sound and that you want to follow it, and make sure that you really question the action that you have to take, and focus everything you can on helping yourself and supporting yourself to turn up and be the person to do the work, because that really is where success comes from. It isn't about the massive wins and the big pushes and the highs and the lows. I think success is about staying in the game, it's about learning from your failures, and it's about really supporting yourself to do the work that matters rather than punishing yourself to do the work. So what makes me feel good? What makes me feel powerful? How do I look after myself? That's the medicine. It's the consistency in that. When you do that, you don't need a big windfall or a big win or a lucky break because you're safe. You haven't overexpended yourself. You haven't used all of your resources in one go. So I hope this video's helped you. I hope it's given you food for thought. Please do take a moment to answer those questions, and if you have enjoyed this, send me a message, let me know. I'd love to hear what your takeaway was, and if you've got any questions I can answer for you, I'm here. I would love to make content on it. If you like this, subscribe to it, share it with a friend. That will mean the world to me. For now, over and out.